Hey, Dave Knights. Hey, it's a little bit dark in here. Hold on. Let me turn on a little lighting. That's better. Okay, so one thing you can count on, and my spot here gets where I sit. I guess the ground has been pressed down on the carpet to the pad and whatnot, so I have to physically shift myself sometimes to make me move to where I want to be in front of the camera. One thing you can count on is when I fail a funded account, the pundits and the haters come out in mass droves. In fact, one guy comes in two different names to post to say this guy posted the same comment on one of his accounts and came back and posted it 4 separate times on another account, and YouTube blocked him as spam. Master Trader Fader 3. Um, Formerly Master Trader, now Master Trader, different with a Z in it, and Fader 3. So kudos to you for making your own stupid, dumb mistake. All right. Um, with that being said, 24 hours has passed since obviously I failed the funded account, and now I've got to go back in the combine. I actually paid my money today to get back in the funded, and I'm allocating out $300 to get back into funded because I figure it's going to take me 20 plus trading days to get to, and I'm projecting that it's going to take more than a month with the new rules to get me out of um, the combine and out of FTP or stage 1 and stage 2. So that's the kind of the thought process that I'm going into it right now to hopefully alleviate some of the issues of pressing too hard inside 30 calendar days, and knowing that we have 18 to 20 days of trading inside a particular trading month of a 30 rolling 30 calendar days. One of the things that I noticed as I watched the review of the tape from yesterday, and another thing, one of the mistakes that I made on Tuesday was not was trading Tuesday. I should have just not traded Tuesday and only traded the inventory strategy on Wednesday. I would have not had basically a 19 tick drawdown in that case. When I went back to look at the tape, I noticed that in the little thing that would say 500 as max drawdown only said 195, meaning that I can only draw down $195. And that's on me because as you know, I'm not a reader of fine print, and it's got me in trouble. Yeah, I it has, honest to God, that it's got me in trouble in the past. And what I noticed is the combine could go underneath the uh, the max drawdown as long as you intraday finished above a certain amount of money, in this case that $1,500 level. Um, you can't do that in the funded account. They just shut you out. All the previous funded accounts that I've ever had, I always would hit max daily loss on a run before I would hit max trailing drawdown. I don't think I've ever run into max trailing drawdown in the funded account ever. So of all the times that I've been in and lost the funded, which about 50%, I guess, winning and losing in funded right now, over maybe no, maybe not 50, 40%, I would say, winning and losing inside the funded account. Um, the that was the first time that I ever was that close to. I've been close before in combine and in FTP and run through it, but I never had the experience that I had yesterday of being blocked, okay, blocked again. And this is how close I was to pulling out of the abyss. And honestly, I believe that their over micromanagement cost me my funded account. Now, I made some mistakes along the way. Now, you know what? They have their hard stop rule at 1500. I guess it was my misunderstanding of that. If I would have had just an extra tick, because the high that I made that last trade, I was in at 10, and it and I was only down 19 ticks at the time, I believe, and it went to 12, and they stopped me out. If it didn't go over 12, if it would have stayed at 68, if their magic stop number was 68.13, you go back and you'll see that I had my stop at 68.19, and I got pulled out of the trade and blocked. So at the whatever I put on that video from yesterday. But the point is that that's how micro razor edge close I got to not only staying and funded, but a day like today that we just went through, I can pretty much bottom line guarantee you that I would have turned out to be a big winning trade today. Um, at least 50, at least 50 ticks minimum. Most likely a lot greater than that with my trade management skills on the short side. And you've seen proof and documentation over that over the years that when the market's going down, I make the majority of my money. And today, I don't know exactly how much I could have pulled out, but it was perfectly set up. And I'll go over the setup on a separate video that I'll put out after I get done with this. Um, I go back to my same argument over and over again. Do I want to have a $5,000 account, or do I want to allow Top Step Trader to fund me and my trading activity? I look at this as an educational experience that I set money aside every year, as I would suggest that you should do, to further your educational goals in your trading career. I can tell you real quick that there's a huge difference in between billions to millions to thousands. In this case, only having a $500 drawdown at any given day, max daily loss and $1,500 max total drawdown is extremely tight. No matter what you think of me as a human being or not, put yourself into the same type of environment, and more than most of you that have done it have failed out too. So there's a reason behind why the rules are set up the way they are. I think Carpet kind of hit on it a little bit as I was reading through some of the comments today. And by the way, I'm at peace finally. And you you can't buy that. You can't buy peace. Peace comes from inside your inner being and your soul. Um, I'm at peace now. I am no longer feeling like, I'm trading the demon beast account. That the superstitious nature of me, it is part of my being. I know that I'm streaky at times too, that I get days where I streak on the losing side, and I get days where I streak to the winning side as well. Trying to stay above the fray, trying to do the best, and when you're trading in the red, you do things a little bit differently than you do when you're in on the black and on the positive side. You're stressed a lot more. You see things that you shouldn't see sometimes. You infer things that you shouldn't infer. it's part of the human nature that makes the psychological makeup of a trader. You can, I know some of you enjoy just kicking me when I'm down, and I appreciate the kicks that I get in my ass. So, I say keep it going. It fuels me sometimes to see that there's some real hateful people out there that like to see me do bad. Um, and that's where I put most of you guys that do that into the Jim Rohn talks about the 10 most hateful people in the world. He says, I just met one yesterday. The only problem is they seem to move around a lot. So every time that I get into this kind of thing, I can guarantee that I'm going to get people coming out of the woodwork to tell me what kind of a loser I am because it makes them feel better to put that stuff down. To tell me, that I'm psycho and that I have a problem and that it makes you, let's face it, it makes you feel better to come and attack me that way. And you go away kind of laughing and grinning about how you could hide behind some stupid name of yours and say things that you want to say and have no repercussion behind it. Is that something that if you and I were sharing a cup of coffee, would you do that? Or would you offer some constructive criticism and not be a jackass? So, all you've accumulated, in my humble opinion, name that starts with an S, is that you formed yourself into the jackass column. And you hide behind that, but obviously I know who you are because we've talked in the previous and other people, I kind of figure that you come in and out. Um, yeah, I guess sometimes it does affect my breathing and trading, you have to be somewhat human to be a trader to start with. At least I think so. You can program to the best of your utmost ability into a computer program, but that's still not going to that's not going to mean that that trading program is going to be a winning trading strategy. It might win for a little bit. I've not seen a trading strategy that's been programmed consistently win without having to be tweaked. So they win sometimes, they lose sometimes, but overall, unless you're not tweaking your strategy, you find that the markets and conditions change. I don't know what else to say. I failed again. I'm back in the combine. I got this new stupid rule now that I got to go after $2,000 instead of 1,500. So that's Michael playing around with the rules again. Um, but it goes back to their gold, right? If you want to play by their rules, you got to, and they have the gold, you got to apply the that, or you have to find someone that can compete against them that has better rules. I don't think the $2,000 is going to be a handicap for me though. I just means I have to allow more room for profit in any given trading day. That's not a huge issue. Um, it's a Yeah, I've been able to prove that I can move from combine through FTP into funded over and over and over again. But one thing I want to say about April and being basically a short only trader mindset, I would pretty much tell you that anyone that had that kind of mindset gave up a lot of money over this period of time. Um, that's why I've tried to switch my philosophies around because I'm not blind. I notice that the market is not below $50 a barrel anymore. We got up to what, 69.50 today, coming up to $70 a barrel. We haven't been in this territory in a long time. Um, was it around 2012 or before that, 2010? So this is areas that we haven't been in a while. Uh, I was a better alongside trader back then though. But we were in a downside for a lot of the time from like 2014 through 2017. You know, there was more of a downward bias, and the money was a lot easier to make on the short side. That's why I've tried to, excuse me, alter my trading strategy in 2018 to, unsuccessfully by the way, to take on the long side of the market. So far what I've learned is that once I open up Pandora's box, in this case in my opening trade, um, it's difficult for me to just stop trading and say enough's enough on any given trading day. But I got a brand new combine, and I am going to do my best of my ability now to see if I can pull myself out of the doldrums, apply some of the things that I've been wanting to put into the back, that I've put into the back of my journal, and then apply some of that logic into the combine, into FTP this time around, to hope some of these minor nuances and changes that I have right now will turn the account around. That's Dave Knight here at 123daytrade.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here.